Good evening, I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and tonight we're tackling a question that millions of men wonder about, but few feel comfortable asking their doctor. Is daily ejaculation good for you? More importantly, what's the ideal frequency for optimal health? Let me start by saying something that might surprise you. There's no universal magic number. Your body isn't following a textbook schedule, and what works perfectly for one man might be completely different for another. But that doesn't mean we're left in the dark. Modern urology has given us fascinating insights into how ejaculation frequency affects everything from prostate health to testosterone levels, fertility, and even longevity. So let's cut through the myths, examine the science, and figure out what's actually best for your body. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Can you ejaculate too much? The short answer is, it's remarkably difficult to do so in a way that causes harm. Your body has built-in regulatory mechanisms. Unlike other organs that can be overworked to the point of damage, the male reproductive system is designed for frequent use. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. Our ancestors who reproduced most successfully were those whose bodies could handle regular sexual activity without breaking down. That said, there are some important nuances here. Daily ejaculation isn't harmful for most men, but context matters enormously. A healthy man in his 20s with a high natural sex drive who ejaculates daily is in a very different situation than a man in his 50s forcing himself to maintain that frequency because he read somewhere it's healthy, or a man ejaculating multiple times per day compulsively due to addiction. Let's talk about what happens in your body when you ejaculate. The process involves a complex orchestration of neurological signals, hormonal releases, muscular contractions, and fluid production. Your seminal vesicles and prostate gland produce the fluid that makes up semen. These glands need time to replenish their secretions. When you ejaculate daily, you're working these glands consistently, which generally keeps them healthy and functioning well. Here's something crucial that many men don't understand. The prostate gland is constantly producing fluid. If you don't ejaculate regularly, that fluid accumulates. For some men, this can lead to a feeling of pelvic congestion or discomfort. Regular ejaculation helps flush out this fluid, along with any potentially harmful substances, bacteria, or cellular debris that might have accumulated. Now, let's discuss the research on prostate cancer, because this is where things get really interesting. A landmark study published in JAMA, one of the most prestigious medical journals, followed nearly 30,000 men for 18 years. The findings were striking. Men who ejaculated 21 or more times per month had approximately a 20% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated 4 to 7 times per month, 21 times a month. That averages out to about 5 times per week, or just under daily. This isn't a small study with questionable methodology. This is robust epidemiological research that controlled for numerous confounding factors. The protective effect appears to be real. But before you set a daily alarm, let me explain the proposed mechanism, because understanding why something works helps you make better decisions. The theory is that frequent ejaculation helps clear out potentially carcinogenic substances from the prostate. Think of it like regularly cleaning out your gutters. If you let debris accumulate for too long, problems can develop. Regular flushing keeps things flowing and healthy. However, and this is important, 21 times per month doesn't mean you must hit that number every single month for the rest of your life. It's an average that showed protective effects in the study population. Some weeks you might be more active, others less. Your body isn't keeping a precise tally. What about testosterone? This is where a lot of confusion exists. Some men worry that frequent ejaculation will deplete their testosterone and make them less masculine. Others believe that abstaining for extended periods will supercharge their testosterone. Both extremes are misunderstandings of how the endocrine system actually works. Here's the reality. Ejaculation causes a temporary spike in prolactin, a hormone that creates feelings of relaxation and satisfaction. This is why most men feel sleepy or relaxed after ejaculating. Prolactin temporarily suppresses dopamine and can slightly reduce testosterone for a short period, usually just a few hours. But this is a normal, healthy part of the sexual response cycle. It's your body's way of saying, okay, mission accomplished, time to rest. Does this temporary dip mean daily ejaculation is lowering your testosterone long-term? No. Multiple studies have shown that ejaculation frequency within normal ranges doesn't significantly impact baseline testosterone levels. What does impact testosterone? Sleep quality, nutrition, body composition, stress levels, and age. These factors are far more influential than whether you ejaculate daily or every few days. There is one interesting finding worth mentioning. Some research suggests that abstaining from ejaculation for about 7 days can produce a temporary testosterone spike of around 45% above baseline. This has led to popular claims about the benefits of abstinence. But here's what those claims don't tell you. After that 7-day peak, testosterone levels return to baseline, even if you continue abstaining. It's a transient spike, not a sustained elevation. And importantly, there's no evidence that this temporary spike translates into any meaningful benefits in terms of muscle growth, energy, or performance. Let's shift to fertility, because this is where daily ejaculation might actually be less than ideal for some men. If you're trying to conceive with your partner, daily ejaculation can slightly reduce sperm concentration in each ejaculate. Your body, however, if you're dealing with male factor infertility or low sperm counts, spacing out ejaculation to every 2 to 3 days might be beneficial. This allows your sperm reserves to rebuild, giving you higher concentrations per ejaculate. Quality matters too, though. And interestingly, more frequent ejaculation tends to improve sperm motility and reduce DNA fragmentation. It's a balance. Here's my general guidance for couples trying to conceive. Aim for intercourse every 1 to 2 days during the fertile window. This optimizes both sperm quality and quantity while ensuring you don't miss the narrow window of opportunity each month. Now let's talk about something we don't discuss enough: the psychological and relational aspects of ejaculation frequency. Your ideal frequency isn't just a biological calculation. It's also about your mental health, your relationship dynamics, and your overall quality of life. Some men feel their best with daily sexual release. It helps them manage stress, sleep better, and feel more balanced. For these men, daily ejaculation is supporting their well-being. Other men find that daily ejaculation feels like too much. They prefer having sexual activity 2 or 3 times per week, saving it for times when they're particularly aroused or connecting with a partner. Both patterns can be completely healthy. Where problems arise is when frequency becomes compulsive, or when there's a significant mismatch between partners. If you're ejaculating multiple times daily, often to pornography, and it's interfering with work, relationships, or other aspects of life, that's when we start considering whether there might be a compulsive element that needs addressing. Conversely, if you're in a relationship and there's a major discrepancy in desired frequency that's causing tension, that's worth addressing through communication and possibly couples counseling. Let me also address the physical sensations some men experience. If you're ejaculating very frequently, you might notice that subsequent ejaculations produce less semen, or that orgasms feel less intense. This is normal. Your body needs time to fully replenish its secretions and restore sensitivity. This doesn't mean you're harming yourself, but it might mean you're not getting the full experience each time. Some men report that spacing out ejaculation makes each experience more intense and pleasurable. There's something to this. When you haven't ejaculated for a few days, arousal builds, sensitivity increases, and the eventual release tends to feel more powerful. It's similar to how food tastes better when you're hungry. If you're eating continuously, you lose some of that acute pleasure. So what's my recommendation as a urologist? For most healthy men, ejaculating anywhere from 3 to 7 times per week appears to be optimal for prostate health. This aligns with the research on cancer prevention, while remaining realistic produces sperm continuously, but it takes time to accumulate optimal numbers. For men with normal sperm counts, this usually isn't a problem. Daily or every other day intercourse during the fertile window is perfectly fine and often recommended. The key is listening to your body and being honest with yourself about your motivations. Are you ejaculating because you're genuinely aroused and it feels right? Or are you doing it out of boredom, stress, or compulsion? Are you avoiding it because you're genuinely not interested, or because you've internalized shame or anxiety about sexuality? Let me give you some practical signs that your frequency is probably right for you. You feel satisfied but not depleted afterward. You're able to engage in sexual activity when you want to without difficulty achieving or maintaining erections. You're not experiencing pain, discomfort, or irritation. Your frequency isn't causing problems in your relationships or other areas of life. You're not obsessing about it or feeling controlled by it. Conversely, here are signs that something might be off. You're experiencing pain during or after ejaculation. You're having difficulty achieving orgasm, or it's taking progressively longer. You're noticing decreased sexual pleasure or satisfaction. You feel compelled to ejaculate even when you don't really want to. Your frequency is causing relationship conflict. You're sacrificing sleep, work, or social connections to make time for sexual activity. If any of these red flags apply, it's worth examining your patterns and possibly consulting with a healthcare provider. One more important point. Your ideal frequency will change throughout your life. Men in their late teens and 20s often have very high sex drives and can handle daily or even multiple daily ejaculations without any issues. As you move into your 30s and 40s, you might find that your natural rhythm shifts to every other day or a few times per week. In your 50s and beyond, 2 to 4 times per week might feel optimal. These changes are normal and healthy. They reflect natural hormonal shifts and changes in your body's needs. There's no need to fight against these changes or feel inadequate if your frequency decreases with age. What matters is that you're maintaining regular sexual function and prostate health, not hitting some arbitrary number. Let me also briefly address some popular trends. You may have heard about semen retention or no-fap communities that promote long periods of abstinence from ejaculation and pornography. Some men report benefits from these practices, including increased motivation, better focus, and improved relationships. While the claimed mechanisms are often pseudoscientific, there can be real benefits for men who were previously using pornography compulsively or avoiding real-world intimacy. However, extended abstinence isn't necessary or beneficial for most men from a purely medical standpoint. The prostate health research actually suggests the and sustainable. If you're naturally inclined toward daily ejaculation and it feels good, there's no medical reason to stop. If you prefer every other day or a few times per week, that's equally healthy. So here's my final word on this. The ideal ejaculation frequency is the one that feels right for your body, supports your health, and aligns with your life circumstances. For most men, that's going to be somewhere between 3 and 7 times per week. Daily ejaculation is perfectly healthy for most men and may offer some prostate protection. Less frequent ejaculation is also fine if that's what your body prefers. Stop worrying about arbitrary rules and start paying attention to how you actually feel. Your body is giving you feedback constantly. Learn to listen to it. And remember, sexual health is just one component of overall health. Good sleep, nutrition, exercise, stress management, and meaningful relationships are all far more impactful on your well-being than whether you ejaculate once daily or once every few days. If you have specific concerns about your sexual health, fertility, or prostate health, talk to your doctor. These conversations are normal and important. We're here to help you optimize your health at every stage of life. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and remember, when it comes to your body, you're the expert on what feels right. I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and I'll see you next time. Opposite. If abstinence is helping you break an unhealthy pattern or reset your relationship with sexuality, it can be a useful tool. But it's not a biological requirement for optimal health.